So, so even Naleo, like, I'm in Naleo board, national, reduction in force too. Like, almost every industry and nonprofits. Good evening, everyone. In compliance with the Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, I call this meeting of the Manor Independent School District to order on May 19th, 2025 at
5 p.m.
Let the record show that a quorum is present. This meeting has been duly called and notices of this meeting have been posted in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. Now we will go to closed session. The board will now adjourn into executive session at
5:01 p.m.
pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Open Meetings Act, 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, and 551.129. Good evening, everyone. The board will now reconvene in open session at,
6:10 PM.
we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, I will take volunteers from one of our Board of Trustees for the vision statement.
I'll do the vision.
Trustee Howard, go ahead.
Manor ISD is the best district in Texas where we provide an equitable education for all scholars and graduate them ready to become leaders in our community.
Thank you, Trustee Howard. Do I have a volunteer for the mission?
I can do the mission.
Thank you.
Collectively, as a community, Manor ISD provides equitable resources, a safe learning environment, and high-quality educational services for all scholars to successfully achieve and reach their full potential.
Thank you, Trustee Lowry. All right, we're going to move to item number six, recognitions. 6.1, May 2025 Scholar Recognition.
So Team of 8, I have a very quick but awesome recognition for you this evening. Quick only because these students unfortunately couldn't be here with us tonight. But tonight we honor two Manor New Tech High School athletes who represented Manor ISD at the UIL State Track and Field Championships. Devon Lewis placed 4th in the long jump, an incredible accomplishment. And Malia Curry qualified in both the 100 and 200 meter dash, placing 6th and 7th respectively in her events. So big congratulations to those students. And that's all for our scholar recognitions.
And I'd like to add, one's a freshman and the other's a sophomore, so.
So even better.
Nice, wow.
So next we move on to our awesome scholars, to our awesome staff who are doing amazing things for our students each and every day. Staff of the month are nominated by their campuses for the things that they do each day. So for those that are here this evening to be recognized, when your name is called, if you'll please walk up to the left, you'll be handed a certificate where you'll walk across the stage. You'll shake the hands of our Board of Trustees, but just wait. If you wait right here, we'll all take a group photo, and then once it's all said and done, you'll head out those doors for an individual photo as well. Let's get started. Here we go. We have Samira Butler from the Child Development Center. From Blake Manor Elementary, we have Jessica Reyes, 2nd grade bilingual teacher, and Raylan Henry, child instructional assistant. From Bluebonnet Trail Elementary, we have Carla Sarita, FAC teacher, and Cameron Moore, educational aide. From Decker Elementary School, we have Trevin Martinez, pre-K through 5th grade music teacher, and Gabriela Seda, nurse. From Lagos Elementary School, we have Udi Adilfi, 1st grade dual language, and Connie Squires, technology teacher. From Oak Meadows Elementary School, we have Daisy Aguida, 2nd grade bilingual teacher, and Brittany Gay, kindergarten teacher. From Pioneer Crossing Elementary School, we have Wendy Boatwright, K through 5th grade gifted and talented teacher, and Rosario Moreno, pre-K aide. From Presidential Meadows Elementary School, we have Shantiva Wimby, pre-K, and Keisha Savannah, pre-K professional. From Shadow Glen Elementary School, we have Roosevelt Matthews, 4th grade science, and Raquel Perez, assistant principals. From Manor Rise Academy, we have Lauren Costello, 1st grade self-contained, and Devora Crawford, SOAR aide. From Decker Middle School, we have Rodney Fagan, 6th through 8th grade PE teacher, and Angela Aguero, SLE paraprofessional. From Manor New Tech Middle School, we have Courtney Wells, campus interventionist, and Jorge Velasco, inclusion. From Manor Early College High School, we have Alejandro Navarrete, fourth, 11th grade AP Calculus teacher, and Stephanie Lipke, registrar. From Manor Excel Academy, we have Dora Flores, food service worker. From Manor High School, we have Julie Carswell, 9th through 10th grade CTE Health Science, and Ivana Aguirre, cafeteria staff. And from Manor Senior High School, we have Benjamin Simmons, 11th through 12th grade social studies, and Alma Lopez, cafeteria manager. Okay, great, I think that's all. We get you guys in for a group photo.
And then we can have you come with, yeah, so that y'all are in the same row. Perfect. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
All right, we'll move on to 7, public forum.
Good evening, Team of 8. For each person present in the boardroom who wishes to address the board, you will have 3 minutes to speak. There are timers on each of the screens and one in front of you. Mr. Martinez, will you please let them know when they have 1 minute remaining, and again, when their time is up.
I will.
When necessary for effective meeting management or to accommodate large numbers of individuals wishing to address the board, the presiding officer may make adjustments to public comment procedures, including adjusting the time allotted to each speaker. Because of the topic posting requirements of the Open Meetings Act, board members are not permitted to answer any questions posed to the board by the patron, and no action can be taken on any issue presented during this time. Due to this being a regular board meeting, you will be allowed to speak on any topic, whether it is on the agenda or not. If you wish to ask questions of the board, you may submit them in writing addressed to the superintendent's office, and the board may consider them at a subsequent meeting. If you are an employee or employee's representative, please be advised that the grievance policy deadlines are not waived. If you have documents to pass out to the board, please identify those documents. Finally, please be aware that the rules of decorum will be enforced during the public comment period. Please refrain from making comments directed at specific individual employees, scholars, or board members by name to avoid any potential breach of confidentiality.
Buenas tardes para todos los padres que están aquí que quieren hablar en español. Solamente para avisarles que los vamos a escuchar. Por ley nosotros no podemos decir nada para atrás. El superintendente sí va a anotar todo lo que han hablado, lo vamos a interpretar para el resto de la mesa directiva y asegurarse que sus voces sí van a ser escuchadas. No podemos responder de nuevo. Claro que es muy importante mantener los 3 minutos y también de no nombrar muchos nombres, porque eso es parte de las reglas de hablar en público en esta mesa directiva. So, de nuevo van a ser escuchados.
Vamos a interpretar todo para la mesa directiva del Distrito Escolar de Texas y ustedes están bienvenidos. Gracias.
Okay, our first speaker is Kevin Collins, and topic of discussion is academic integrity.
I apologize for wasting everybody's time. I'll defer from my question. Thank you.
Okay, our next person is Celia Valencia. Topic of discussion is Presidential Meadows Elementary.
Buenas tardes, mesa directiva. Gracias por su espacio, por dejarnos hablar a los padres de familia. Prefiero ser muy breve y muy corta. Perdón si notan mi voz, pero es una situación alarmante para nosotros como padres de familia y como comunidad lo que se está suscitando en nuestra escuela. Desafortunadamente, todo este ciclo escolar durante esta administración no se nos ha dado la oportunidad de tener la comunicación con la administración. No se nos ha llegado ningún correo electrónico, ningún mensaje de texto, como en otras administraciones pasadas. Todo lo que ha sucedido, desafortunadamente, lo hemos sabido por nuestros hijos. Actualmente estamos viviendo una situación donde los niños tienen miedo, donde los niños han llorado, donde los niños se levantan y ya no quieren ir a esa escuela. ¿Por qué? Porque dicen que tienen miedo, porque no los dejan hablar, los callan a su hora de lonche. Seré más breve. Les pedimos que por favor abran una auditoría a ese plantel escolar, porque hay muchos casos que no se han hablado y que muchos padres y muchos maestros que desafortunadamente no pueden hablar y estamos aquí por ellos. Yo como madre vocal y como madre que he ayudado al plantel desde que mi hijo mayor, que está aquí presente, ha estado, me he dado cuenta de muchas cosas en este año escolar. Tenemos un niño actualmente que no puedo dar ni nombre ni grado, como me comentaron, que está golpeando maestros, que está golpeando alumnos. Y mañana va a ser 8 días que tuvimos un accidente cuando nuestros hijos estaban camino a casa y ellos presenciaron todo. ¿Qué es lo único que hicieron? Sacarlos por una salida de emergencia, pero vieron todo. Hoy pasó un accidente en la clase de mi hijo que pido por favor, tomen atención. Estoy aquí de pie para decirles que queremos la renuncia de la directora actual y su staff administrativo, porque ya es un miedo mandar a nuestros hijos a la escuela, porque no sabemos si van a estar a salvo. No sabemos qué es lo que va a suceder con ellos. Presten atención a las cámaras de video en la cafetería, presten atención a los baños y presten sobre todo atención cómo son los gritos, cómo son de que avientan las mesas y cómo son de que nuestros hijos quieren ser callados e intimidados. Y no solamente ellos, también nosotros como padres. También cabe mencionar el accidente que tuvo mi hijo el día 22 de abril, donde nadie lo ayudó, donde solo caminó a la enfermería. Muchas gracias.
¿Se ha terminado?
Muchas gracias.
Our next speaker is Miguel Perez, and topic of discussion is Presidential Meadows Elementary.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me here to speak on behalf of my family. She's my wife, and so I'm here because I'm hearing very concerning things about my kid, my family, my wife, and I'm hearing other family members that are very concerned about what's happening in the school. So what I can hear, what I can see, that the school has turned into a very hostile place. So it's a very unhappy environment. There's no embracement to the teachers. The teachers actually get punished for trying to help the kids. They get alienated. With the teachers, they ask them in front of everybody, they're gonna get write-ups for trying to help the teachers. There's an incident that my kid tried to help the teacher opening the door because there was one little kid having a problem. So the principal came in and started yelling at the kid. Why do you open the door? This is not the way that always a presidential manual has been. There's no, we have an incident with the kid. I guess there's one kid that's walking around. There's very bad words talking to my wife. She goes to school, trying to help the school on the holidays, make it pretty, and make it nice for the kids. But this kind of kids come around and tell him, BF, very bad words to her. She's like, you don't have to be like this. But the kid, I do whatever I want. The same kid, I guess, he's been treating all the kids really bad. I guess, I don't know what's going on with that kid. I don't know the kid, I don't know, but I hear it from my kids, from my wife. So I hear the other kid bringing a knife to school, a knife to defend himself from this other kid. This is unacceptable. We just went not too long from another school. They having stabbing another kid with a knife. I mean, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad for the kids. So we all asking to please change. Look at what's happening. Look at what's going on, and please change the principle, because this is a very hostile environment for the school, for the parents, everybody here. I hear another lady that has hit their son, and actually instead of giving support, tell them, spank your kid, and he has special needs. Spank your kids. We cannot handle your kid anymore. They go to the cafeteria. They're not allowed to speak. They can't talk. They're like a school. This principal needs to be in a correctional school. I mean, treating the greater kids, not the kids that we have. This is I think I'm very disappointed. And I think the way that this is being managed, and I really hope, and I can help whatever I can do to help our community to keep it very nice and quiet. So we can help and embrace our teachers, because they're really good.
Time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Aurora Sarpal, topic of discussion, Presidential Meadows.
Good evening, board members. My name is Aurora Sarpal, and I speak before you today not only as an educator, but as someone who is deeply concerned about the climate of fear and lack of support that has taken hold on our campus. And what is even more alarming is the unprofessional tone and behavior shown. I'd like to share my personal experience. I received a write-up for taking my class on a scheduled bathroom break, even though it was very clearly listed in my daily schedule. When I was called to discuss this, I was told the assistant principal would be present, but when I arrived, the assistant principal was walking out, and I was cornered alone in a room with the principal. She confronted me with a minute-by-minute breakdown of 2 days' worth of restroom breaks, questioned my use of instructional time, and issued 2 write-ups against me without once offering me actionable feedback or consistently observing my classroom. I now avoid restroom breaks altogether for fear of retaliation. I am currently on my level 2 of the grievance process, yet no one has communicated the next steps to me, despite the policy stating that the superintendent should be involved at this level. I can't help but wonder if this treatment stems from my speaking up during the last staff meeting back in October, the last time that we had one. I've also learned that the principal told another staff member, and I quote, "I do not like Sarpal," sometime around November or December, shortly after I voiced my concerns. Let me be clear, this is not a situation where we've just now decided to gang up against our principal. Many of us have been raising these concerns for months, emailing and notifying upper administration, including the superintendent and the chief of schools. The silence speaks volumes, and the chief of schools, when I came to his office before my official grievance, he admitted that my principal could have handled that situation better. He admitted that she should have simply had a friendlier conversation to address her concerns.
1 minute.
I even asked off the record for her to dispose these corrective actions and stated it would not look good to ask her to do that. So that leaves me thinking, how do the write-ups make me look? Do you think about that? No, they didn't. Instead, they left me no choice but to file a grievance just for him to deny the most important remedies, and on top of that, they had the courage to ask me to offer to give me a decent reference. All of this leads me to believe that there must be something more
lying underneath the surface that makes her invincible and protected by the upper management, such as the superintendent. And now we are seeing the result. Not only are the teachers leaving the district in droves, but they are taking pay cuts and are willing to travel longer distances just to avoid Manor ISD altogether. That should be alarming. This pattern is not just demoralizing, it's dangerous. Retaliation, surveillance, and silence are replacing what should be a culture of collaboration
up.
and support.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Maria Vanegas. Topic of discussion, PME.
Buenas tardes. Yo tengo también mi niño, tengo varios hijos que han estudiado en PME y es la primera vez mi niño tiene una condición, digamos, especial. Él tiene convulsiones y eso lo hace que su aprendizaje sea más lento. Desde a comienzo de este año yo he pedido una vez más por medio de emails, que yo tengo las pruebas, donde he pedido a la directora, a la junta administrativa, que me ayuden con mi niño, que necesito que lo evalúen, que necesito más ayuda. Su primera respuesta y única fue que iban a tratar de ayudarme, pero que necesitaba ayudarlo en casa. Si ese fuera el caso, pues yo estuviera dando clases a mi hijo en mi casa y no en la escuela. Y eso fue a lo largo de este año. Hace 3 meses atrás involucramos a una trabajadora social y fue una larga situación donde la directora nunca contestaba, sino que mandaba papeles, firma esto, firma esto, firma esto. Cuando nosotros tuvimos una respuesta fue cuando ya hablamos de un abogado. Y he tratado de platicar con la directora y la única vez que yo hablé con ella fue un tono bastante feo. Como padre, yo exijo que mis hijos, donde están, sean respetados, pero también yo, porque yo merezco respeto como madre. Nosotros no tenemos para nada comunicación con la directora, nunca se nos avisa de nada, nunca se nos comenta qué está pasando ni qué no está pasando. Mi hijo puede convulsionar en la escuela y no tengo yo una comunicación de que alguien me diga, sabes, está pasando esto o no está pasando esto, y eso realmente a mí me preocupa como madre. Terminamos el año y mi hijo no tiene ninguna ayuda. ¿Y qué estamos entregando a Middle School? Mi niño está en 3er grado, cuando él no sabe leer, mi niño no sabe más que sumar y restar. Y eso me preocupa porque cuando él esté en Middle School, probablemente él pueda recibir hasta bullying de parte de niños que lo van a escuchar. ¿Por qué? Porque no fue escuchada mi voz. Entonces, hoy como padres nos sentimos bastante tristes, bastante decepcionados por parte de la doctora Allen y su junta administrativa, que no nos han podido ayudar.
Señora, por favor, no diga nombres.
Ok,
Gracias.
de parte de la directora y de su junta administrativa, que no han podido hacer nada por nosotros, no nos han ayudado y que probablemente va a seguir así si ella sigue. Entonces nosotros exigimos la renuncia de ella y de su junta administrativa, porque si no, desgraciadamente, no solo van a ser maestros, sino que van a ser muchos niños que vamos a cambiar de distrito porque no podemos seguir en esta situación. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Our next speaker is Johnny Velasco. Topic of discussion, student success.
Good evening, trustees, Dr. Sarmani. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been back in here. I guess one of the things that when I departed here, I mentioned to the faculty and staff that if they ever needed anyone to come speak on their behalf, just give me a call, and they've done so. I'm going to go off of pretty much my notes here, but I want to say something. This afternoon or today, during the day, I work right up the street at Applied Materials, and there's a billboard on 290 and I guess right there off of Tuscany Way in that area right there that has an enrollment, I guess, advertisement and trying to enroll students with award-winning fine arts, award-winning athletics, and award-winning academics. Well, after hearing these folks speak here, well, there's a reason for that. Those are the ones that were just standing up. That's the reason. Now, what I wanted to say here is we have a large amount of great educators here. From what seems to be happening in this district, to me, is that they're forced to sign resignations. I know we're having a reduction in force, and it's pretty sad and pretty scary. Some of these educators are scared. Some of them don't know where they're going. Now, I don't know when the contracts are going out. Of course, I don't have that access anymore, not being on the board anymore. One of the things I watched, I guess, from one of your last board meetings you had is you had a number of students from a campus come speak on behalf of their leader. Of course, you can't mention any names, but I was very overwhelmed and very proudly saying that that was a program that we have here that we brought to this district.
1 minute.
Thank you. And also that, it's a great thing that we're teaching these kids to come and speak on behalf of their leader or leaders. I will say also that one of the things is that that I noticed is that, with the state and where they're going with the vouchers, just at church yesterday or even this weekend, my own pastor talks about the advocacy for private schools. And it's a scary thing. I'm a supporter of public education. I'm a product of it. I'm a product of Manor ISD. And again, I will come back again and speak on behalf of these folks that are very, very scared of speaking here in front of you all because they're afraid of the retaliation that they'll receive. Again, thank you very much. Good luck to you. Welcome new board members. And thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Alejandra Jaimes. Topic of discussion, urgent action needed, leadership crisis at PME.
Buenas tardes, miembros del Consejo. Mi nombre es Alejandra Jaimes y soy una madre de 2 estudiantes que actualmente están cursando en PME. Hoy quiero hablarles del ambiente que se respira dentro de nuestra escuela, porque no solo se trata de números ni de renuncias, se trata de lo que están sintiendo nuestros hijos cada día, al igual que nuestros maestros. En PME ya no se respira alegría, ni motivación, ni seguridad. Se respira miedo. Miedo por parte de los maestros, miedo por parte del personal y, lo más triste de todo, miedo de nuestros propios hijos, al expresar que ellos ya no quieren ir a la escuela. Ellos sienten la tensión y ven cómo sus maestros se van sin alguna explicación. Escuchan comentarios y perciben el desorden. Y nosotros como padres ya no sabemos en quién confiar, porque al momento de acudir con las personas que están encargadas de la administración, no recibimos un trato digno. ¿Cómo vamos a confiar si no hay comunicación clara por parte de nuestra directora? ¿Cómo vamos a confiar si la directora se niega a darnos respuestas? ¿O cómo vamos a confiar si cada semana hay un cambio nuevo y nunca somos informados? O lo que es peor, cuando suceden cosas dentro del plantel, no somos enterados por ellos, nos enteramos por nuestros niños. No podemos hablar de calidad educativa si lo primero que se ha perdido es la confianza. Este ambiente no es saludable, no es justo y no es sostenible. Por eso yo también me uno a esta exigencia colectiva de que esta administración sea removida inmediatamente. No podemos permitir que el miedo y el silencio sigan marcando la experiencia escolar de nuestros hijos y tampoco de nosotros como padres.
1 minuto.
Gracias. Y pues bueno, debido yo a mi experiencia que he tenido, creo que en años anteriores la escuela ha estado mejor. Yo solamente quiero pedirles de la manera más atenta que escuchen nuestro llamado, porque no sabemos a quién más acudir. Ya hablamos con la directora, hablamos con otras personas y no encontramos una respuesta. hagan que esta semana y media que le quedan a los niños, a los maestros que aún están con nosotros, sea armoniosa y buena para ellos. Gracias.
Gracias.
Our next speaker is Monica Contreras. Topic of discussion, urgent action needed, leadership crisis at PME.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Mónica Contreras y tengo 2 hijos en PMI. Estoy aquí esta tarde para compartir una experiencia frustrante respecto a la falta de comunicación de la directora hacia los padres, los estudiantes y a los maestros. En mi caso, un día antes del STAR Test de matemáticas, esto es el 28 de abril, la directora tomó la decisión repentina de remover a una de las maestras de mis hijos de su función como administradora del examen. La maestra, sin dar mucho detalle, nos notificó esa tarde que ella no estaría con sus estudiantes, por lo que les deseaba éxito en su prueba. Esto nos pareció extraño, porque ella siempre nos comunica las cosas importantes con anticipación y el progreso de nuestros hijos día con día. En la mañana del 29 de abril, el día del STAR Test de matemáticas, un día de por sí estresante para nuestros hijos, en lugar de ser recibidos por su maestra, quien los preparó durante todo el año, la que estuvo con ellos en todos los exámenes, en los 2 exámenes anteriores y en todas las pruebas, con quien se sienten seguros y en quien confían, fueron recibidos en medio de un caos, sin ningún adulto esperando por ellos, ya que la maestra sustituta llegó tiempo después. Probablemente ella tampoco fue notificada a tiempo. Esto le causó confusión, estrés, ansiedad y pudo ser evitado. Nosotros nos comunicamos vía email con la directora, primero para saber quién aplicaría el examen, después para entender por qué tomó esa decisión tan apresurada. No obtuvimos respuestas a tiempo, ni respuestas satisfactorias. De hecho, su última respuesta, 2 días después del incidente y ante nuestra insistencia, fue: no es necesario reportarles estos cambios a los padres y cualquier maestro entrenado puede administrar el examen. Lamentablemente, esto no es un caso aislado, sino un ejemplo más de la indiferencia de la directora hacia el sentir de los padres, alumnos y maestros.
1 minuto.
En este año escolar, en PMI, los padres ya estamos acostumbrados a que no se nos informen de situaciones importantes y delicadas, a los maestros sentirse fácilmente reemplazables y los alumnos a que no se considere su bienestar y seguridad como prioridad. Este tipo de liderazgo no construye confianza, la destruye y definitivamente no es el liderazgo que nuestras familias merecen. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Our next speaker is Copitze Vázquez Santa Maria. Topic of discussion, urgent action needed, leadership crisis at PME.
Buenas tardes, miembros de la mesa directiva. Mi nombre es Copitze Vázquez y soy madre de un estudiante en Presidential Meadows Elementary. Estoy aquí con el corazón roto y con mucha indignación. En menos de un año escolar, hemos perdido a más del 90% de los maestros en nuestra escuela. Esto no es normal. Esto no es un cambio natural. Esto es una señal de alarma. Y aún así, no hemos visto ninguna acción concreta por parte del distrito. ¿Dónde están las investigaciones? ¿Dónde están las soluciones? ¿Dónde está el liderazgo por su parte? Los maestros no se van de una escuela que los valora, se van cuando hay un ambiente tóxico, cuando hay intimidación, cuando no hay apoyo, y todo esto está ocurriendo bajo la administración de este año escolar. Hoy exijo que esta situación se tome con la seriedad que se merece, porque estamos hablando de la educación de nuestros hijos, no de cualquier persona o que no les importe a ustedes, pero son nuestros hijos. Exijo una respuesta clara y exijo que haga un cambio en la administración de la escuela para PMI, porque nos han hecho más que destruir la comunidad que tanto nos costó construir. Y créanme, tengo un hijo que se graduó de PMI y peleé bastante para que mi hija se quedara en PMI este año escolar. Y es muy triste que maestros que han hecho que mis hijos sean unos alumnos excelentes se estén yendo de ese plantel. Nuestros hijos merecen mejor y si ustedes no actúan, nosotros padres lo haremos. Y lo cual, mi hija ya me ha pedido que la cambie de escuela también. Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Next speaker is Maria Salas. Topic of discussion, urgent action needed, leadership crisis at Presidential Meadows.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Maria Salas, and I'm here as a parent of 2 students at PME. Do you know what's the first thing people do when you tell them your child attends a school in Manor ISD? They flinch, they hesitate, and they ask why. But I never felt that way because my daughters attended Presidential Meadows Elementary, and PME was different. PME had exceptional teachers, teachers who had been there for 10, 15, even 20 years. Teachers who didn't just teach, they cared. They knew our children by name. They showed up early. They stayed late. They built a safe, loving space where our kids thrive academically and emotionally. The environment at PME was unlike any other campus in Manor, and everyone knew it. And now it's gone. All of that ripped apart in less than 1 year because of one person, one leadership team. And now more than 90% of our teachers have resigned, not transferred, resigned, left the profession, left the district, left the school they loved. Why? Because fear has replaced community, because silence has replaced collaboration, because intimidation has replaced inspiration. Our children are scared, our teachers are broken, and we, the parents, are furious. And we are holding every single one of you accountable, especially you, the superintendent.
Please refrain from...
Because you have known what's been happening at PME. The complaints, the surveys, the emails, the resignations, and the pleas for help. And what have you done? Nothing. What exactly are we waiting for? Another horrible incident like what happened at Lagos Elementary? Is that what's going to take before the district acts? Let me say this as clear as I can. None of you deserve to sit in those chairs if you're not willing to protect our children, our teachers, and our schools. We, the PME community, demand immediate removal of the principal of PME and her leadership team. Not next year, not after a review, but now. Our children deserve better. Our teachers deserve better. And PME deserves better. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The timer is frozen.
Our next speaker is Laudiola Lita. Topic of discussion, urgent action needed, leadership crisis at Presidential Meadows Elementary.
Buenas tardes, miembros de la mesa directiva. Mi nombre es Lauriola Lira y hoy hablo no solo como madre preocupada, sino como una voz más de muchas familias de Presidential Meadows. Estamos aquí porque nuestra escuela está en una crisis. Más del 90% de miembros de maestros han renunciado y no se han ido a otra escuela dentro del distrito. Se han ido a otros distritos. Eso dice mucho. No es coincidencia. Es el resultado de un ambiente insostenible que ha obligado a excelentes educadores a irse, muchos de ellos con más de 10 años de entrega y amor por nuestros hijos. Estamos a pocas semanas de que termine este ciclo escolar y sabemos que esos puestos no van a estar cubiertos para el regreso de agosto. Nuestros hijos no tendrán maestros, serán recibidos por sustitutos. Personas temporales que entran y salen del aula sin poder ofrecer una estabilidad y el seguimiento académico ni el apoyo emocional que nuestros hijos necesitan. Y seamos honestos, ¿quién nos garantiza que los maestros que se contraten serán maestros certificados bilingües? ¿Cómo podemos confiar en que el programa de lenguaje dual se mantendrá con la calidad y compromiso? Hasta ahora, lo que hemos visto es silencio, evasión y falta de responsabilidad. Hemos perdido la confianza y la confianza no se recupera con palabras, sino con hechos. Por eso estamos aquí esta noche para exigir y esa acción comienza por el liderazgo. Pedimos formalmente la renuncia de la directora de PMI junto con su equipo administrativo. Su liderazgo no nos ha llevado a este punto crítico y no podemos permitir que permanezca al frente el resto del año. Nuestros hijos merecen algo mejor. Nuestros maestros merecían algo mejor y nuestra comunidad ya no va a guardar silencio. Gracias.
Gracias.
Next, we have Luis Ortiz, topic of discussion, PME and safety.
Hi, my name is Luis Ortiz, and I am a third grade dual language scholar at PME. I wanted to talk to you because school is supposed to be a happy place, but it doesn't feel that way to me. I feel nervous and stressed almost every day, especially at lunch. Some lunch monitors yell at us a lot. It makes me feel scared. Sometimes we're not even allowed to talk at all, even if we're finished eating. We've had so many silent lunches this year just because it gets a little loud. I don't think it's fair for the whole grade to be punished like that. Lunch should be a time to relax and talk with friends. It's also a time for students to learn about each other, even learn a second language. I also don't feel safe going to the restroom alone. There are kids playing, being loud, and not behaving, and there's no adult around to help. I try not to drink water just so I don't have to go to the restroom. That doesn't seem right. Another thing that makes me sad is that during camp time, which is supposed to be a fun break like PE, art, and music, we end up doing IXL, which feels like another test when we go to computer lab. I think we already do enough work during the day. We spend most of the day sitting, doing work, and preparing for tests. As a bilingual student, I have to take twice as many tests, not just in English, but also in Spanish. For example, we have to take the TELPAS and other reading tests in both languages. On top of that, practice for the start is too much testing. Instead of helping us learn, often just makes us anxious and tired. We need more time to do projects and activities like science experiments. I love reading science and learning in fun ways. I also like my friends. That's the main reason I don't want to move to a different school or be absent. But sometimes school feels more like a prison than a place where kids are supposed to grow, feel happy, and safe. I hope you will listen to what I'm saying, not just for me, but for other kids who might feel the same way but are too scared to speak up. Please help make school a place where we want to be, not one we want to escape. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Miriam Ortiz, topic of discussion, PME and safety.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Miriam Ortiz, and I am here today as both a parent and a professional educator at Presidential Meadows Elementary. I'm here to support my child's experience and to express deep concern about the current environment at PME. The climate has become tense, disconnected, and at times even toxic. Leadership that shuts down input, dismisses ideas, and avoids collaboration is not true leadership. Schools thrive when leaders build trust, value relationships, and support those who serve our children every day. What we are experiencing is opposite, an authoritarian approach with little regard for the voices of staff, students, and our families. This culture of fear and disrespect is now affecting our students in deeply personal ways. Recently, my own child had an upsetting encounter with a staff member during lunch. The interaction left him feeling intimidated and uncomfortable, so much so that he no longer feels safe, at ease going to the cafeteria, and he is now apprehensive about coming to school at all. No child should ever feel afraid in a place meant for learning and growth. No child should ever be made to feel disrespected or unwelcome. I've personally sent emails and completed surveys hoping to engage constructively and contribute solutions. Despite those efforts, I have seen no change. What's worse, I was written up for making a professional judgment call, doing my best to supervise students both inside my classroom and unsupervised students in the hallway. That decision was made with students' well-being and safety in mind. Yet, it was met with punishment rather than support. This sends a harmful message that educators acting out of care and responsibility and professionalism will not be supported, but instead penalized. That is unacceptable. Teachers working under pressure with children's best interests and heart should be guided, not reprimanded. We need to create a school culture where staff, students, and families feel safe, valued, and respected. That cannot happen if concerns continue to be ignored and intimidation is normalized. As a parent and an educator, I am calling for accountability and transparency. I urge you to listen to the voices of our community and take seriously the responsibility we all share to ensure our schools are places where every child and adult feels safe, heard, and cared for. Thank you for your time and your attention in this urgent matter.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Amanda Dorner, topic of discussion, leadership at PME.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Dorner. I'm a teacher at Presidential Meadows. Excuse my raspy voice today. I've been teaching at Presidential Meadows for 4 years. I've been teaching in Manor ISD for a total of 8 years. I left Manor and I came back to Manor because I believed I could find a school home here, and I found it. But it's no longer that. This has been the hardest year of my teaching career in 10 years, and I taught through COVID and a mask and the internet. But that was easier. I've worked for many different principals, assistant principals, and never been so disrespected, discouraged, and unincluded in conversations. I was chosen by my previous leadership to select the new leadership at Presidential Meadows. I felt very proud to hold that voice for my community, and we asked for certain things that we were looking for in a new leader. I don't believe we found them. It's personal and mental and physical health have suffered immensely. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. The flyer on the seat made me laugh out loud, to be honest. Felt a little ironic because I am shaking with anxiety. I've had to take multiple days of personal leave beyond the 2 mental health days due to increased anxiety attacks from how I've been treated by not just the principal, the assistant principal, and other named leaders of our school. Instead of being a leader, I've been looked at as a problem because I speak up. Teachers are leaving because we haven't been heard through the grievance process, through emails to district leadership. It's kind of been brushed off as miscommunication. A 9-page document that I wrote of evidence for my grievance process was not based on miscommunication. It was based on the worst leadership I've experienced in my career. So like many others, I will be looking outside of Manor ISD to somewhere that I feel will support the teachers and students that stay here. So I came today to speak up for the people that don't have a choice to leave. This is their school home. They deserve teachers like me, teachers like the ones here, and they deserve to be heard and listened to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Josue Orozco, topic of discussion, urgent action needed, leadership crisis at PME.
Buenas tardes, miembros del Consejo. Mi nombre es Josué Orozco y soy padre de familia igual que los otros padres. Y estoy aquí para traerles, para decirles que como miembro activo de la comunidad, que ya no se va a quedar, que no queremos quedarnos callados. Durante años, PME fue una escuela modelo. Teníamos un equipo decente, fuerte, comprometido y estable. Nuestros hijos estaban felices, seguros y aprendiendo. Hoy esa escuela ya no existe. Es solo un ciclo escolar. Todo ha cambiado. ¿Y saben qué es lo más doloroso? Que ustedes lo sabían. ¿Y qué hicieron al respecto? Nada. Las renuncias, las quejas, los correos, los comentarios en las encuestas internas, todo estaba documentado. ¿Y qué hicieron? Nada. ¿Dónde está la responsabilidad? ¿Dónde está el respeto para nuestra comunidad? Hoy estamos aquí para decirles que ya basta. No vamos a esperar más. No vamos a permitir que otro ciclo escolar comience con el mismo liderazgo que ha causado todo este daño. Como todos los demás padres de familia, exigimos la salida inmediata de la directora y su equipo administrativo. Y si ustedes no nos escuchan, seguiremos levantando la voz hasta que alguien sí lo haga. Gracias.
Gracias. And we don't have any more speakers. Thank you. (8.1) Okay, now we're going to move on to closed session action items. 8.1, consideration and approval for contract non-renewal for reduction in force employees. Do I have a motion for 8.1?
Madam President, if I might, before you begin,
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to remind trustees in the community that back on April 21st, trustees voted for reduction in force due to program changes. And at that time, we reduced the force by 15 positions. Those 15 persons were offered a process and an opportunity to avoid a non-renewal of contract. 13 of those people did so. The 2 employee names we bring forward tonight did not engage in that process and opportunity to avoid non-renewal.
Thank you.
Madam President, I move that the board approve to not renew the employment contract of Alamay Sandakova based on the board resolution adopted April 21st, 2025, authorizing the reduction in force due to program changes.
I have a motion by trustee Patterson,
I'll second.
I have a second by trustee Martinez. There's no additional discussion. I will ask for the vote. All those in favor? 7-0. We'll move on to closed session action items. 8.2, consideration and approval for contract non-renewal for reduction in force employees.
Madam President, I move that the board approve to non-renew the employment contract of Kristen Streimer based on the board resolution adopted April 21st, 2025, authorizing the reduction in force due to program changes.
I have a motion by Dr. Lowry. Trustee Lowry, do I have a second? Thank you.
I'll second.
I have a second by trustee Martinez. All those in favor? Passes 7-0. Now we move on to closed session action item 8.3.
Madam President.
Go ahead. Okay, consideration and approval of educator chapter 21 contract abandonment. Go ahead, trustee Rodriguez Barnett.
I move that the board make a finding that there is no good cause to support Leland Bird's resignation from the position at Manor ISD.
I have a motion by trustee Rodriguez Barnett for 8.41. Do I have a second? I have a second from trustee Patterson. No discussion? All those in favor? Motion passes 7-0. I'll move on to the next action item, 8.5.
Madam President, I move that the board approve the hire of Sundal Ali as Executive Director of Human Resources.
I have a motion by trustee Patterson. Do I have a second? I have a second by trustee Howard and trustee Thomas. All those in favor? There's no discussion. Did you vote in favor, Dr. Thomas? Yes, 7-0. I just want to make sure.
And I would like to take a moment, I think she's probably out there watching, to welcome Ms. Sundal Ali. She is out of town and not able to be here today, so let's give her a little round of applause.
Welcome. All right, we'll move on to action item 8.5. 8.6. Consideration of the, okay. Consideration approval for hire of executive director, special programs.
Madam President. I move that the board approve the hire of Ricky Bean as the Executive Director of Special Programs.
I have a motion by trustee Barnett. I have a second by trustee Lowry. All those in favor? 7-0. Congratulations.
Of course, since he's been here for a while, he doesn't really need introduction. So come on up, Mr. Bean. You got to at least say hi to the team of 8 up here.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
Dr. Samani. Well, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I am honored to step into the role as Executive Director of Special Programs. It's a privilege to serve an educational community so deeply committed to student success. I look forward to supporting our students, families, and staff to support and strengthen programs that will leave meaningful and lasting impressions on our community. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you and congratulations. Wonderful. So now we'll move on to action item 8.7. Has got one here. Consideration and approval for hire of Decker Middle School principal. Dr. Thomas?
Madam President, I move that the board approve the hire of Brian Reed as a Decker Middle School principal.
I have a motion by Dr. Thomas. I have a second by Trustee Patterson. All those in favor? 7-0. Welcome and congratulations. He's here.
So, Mr. Reed, as you come on walking up here, you got to say hi to everybody. Just to let the community and the audience know, Mr. Reed comes to us by way of Alief ISD in Houston area. He is the assistant principal of a 1,300-student middle school with very similar demographics to Decker Middle School. And of course, his superintendent is actually well known to us because he comes from the Austin area, so his reference checks were fairly easy. And we're excited to have you. Mr. Reed, why don't you introduce yourself to the community?
Good evening, Board. Brian Reed. I just want to say I'm honored and excited to take this position and excited to become a part of this community and share my knowledge of education and learning with the community and make it as you say, the best district in Texas. So, thank you.
Wonderful. Welcome. Thank you. All right. Now we're going to move on to number 9, superintendent update. Student safety update.
Thank you, trustees. We'll start with some our usual student safety updates. If you can go forward, Dr. Harvey. Just to let you know, we did have 13 more recommendations when we received the physical safety audit at the Manor Senior High School complex. We've also increased the number of recommendations that we've accomplished. So both numbers keep going up. So we're at 14 out of 53. And so that's where we are right at this moment. Just a reminder to the community, some of these recommendations will take quite a bit of time to implement. Some of them will be implemented over the summer. And if you go forward, I want to give some clarity to what the physical audit did. You can see there are 3 major categories that they did and gave us the scores. Their definition of these scores are they demonstrate a behavioral health and school climate that's well structured and significant compliance by all parties. The 69, of course, is our lowest one, is for the exterior of the building. While there are recommendations there, those are some that we wouldn't want to discuss out in public because some of those did point out some vulnerabilities that we have immediately begun to close if we haven't already closed those vulnerabilities. They gave a score of an 87, the interior security, and 86 for security and training. And those scores are just below their superior rating. So something to be proud there. And I would like to highlight, if I could, if you move forward one slide, a few areas that got 100%. I would like to point out our security personnel, including our police department, were given 100% by the auditors, as did our nurses, and as did our technologies team's ability to protect students. And they also were very appreciative of our camera coverage. So thank you to that staff. If you move forward one, just update to the community. Just a reminder that when we engaged in a process to purchase a weapons detection system, the contractor that was going to sell it and was approved got fired by the company they were working, the manufacturer, which delayed us quite a bit. But we did hopefully find a workaround where we're going to be able to lease some equipment and get it out there so at least the staff and students can see what that equipment's going to look like in the future. So they can see what the future looks like and how quickly we'll be able to pass students through. And then this summer, we'll be able to actually purchase the equipment and begin to install it on a permanent, not a lease basis. And I think that's all for the safety updates, unless there's any questions from board.
I don't see any questions.
Okay. A couple of points, Bride. One thing, just want to update the numbers. I feel bad. I got the pre-K numbers wrong at the last board meeting, so this is my mea culpa, putting them back up here. We did still see a 30% increase year over year, but the numbers I had last week were a little bit inflated by about 100 students. Still a really large increase to be proud of, but I don't like giving inaccurate data, so I wanted to make sure that I put that out there. We are exploring the possibility of having paid pre-K in the future. It does turn out at the moment that those paid pre-K is eligible for the voucher system. So thank you, legislature. Unthank you in the fact that they're trying to close that and not allow us to use vouchers now in the Senate version of the bill. I guess I should let the public decide why the legislature gave us an opportunity to open a private school in our community, choose our schools to have the pre-K and use a voucher, and then suddenly they don't want us to do it anymore. So just putting that out there. And if you happen to want to contact your Senate, the Senate bill that's affecting this in school finance is hitting the floor this week. So
Dr.
feel free.
Sarmani, do
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have that posted on the website or contacts for that? Or what would be the best way?
The best way to contact our senator, just to point out, is very supportive of public education. Senator Eckhart is. I would suggest you reach out to perhaps the senators in charge of the Education Committee of the Senate. Mr. Creighton comes to mind. If you could look him up on the website and let your thoughts know from the state legislature, there is a way to email him directly and his staffers.
Thank you.
Also, if you didn't know, if you don't follow football, we had 2 players, former Mustangs, get drafted last year. They played on the same team. I'm sorry, last year. They got drafted this year. We now have a Carolina Panther and a Cincinnati Bengal to go with 2 other students we have drafted. And we are going to get a chance to celebrate them on June 23rd at 11 o'clock at the senior high school. School's out, so we can invite the public. So if you want to come by and help celebrate these 2 young men and the accomplishments that they made, and outstanding young men, Mr. Brooks comes back on a regular basis to help train kids for the future. And here there's a documentary on Netflix that actually is about Mr. Taj Brooks. For some reason, I can't get it on Netflix. I'm really upset about that. I'm not sure what the blockout is, but if you can figure out a way to get it, let me know.
All those history documentaries you're watching.
Maybe it is. And with that, that's the end of my points of pride, and we're on to information items.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Sarmani. Information item number 10, monthly financial report. Any questions from our trustees? We're good. All right. We're going to move on to 11 consent agenda items, 1 through 9.
Madam President, I move that the board approve consent items 11.1 through 11.9 as presented by administration.
Thank you. I have a motion by trustee Lowry to approve consent agenda items 11.1 through 11.9. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from trustee Rodriguez Barnett. There's no discussion. All those in favor? Say aye. 7-0. Thank you. And now we're going to move on to action items. 12.1, consideration and approval of a resolution authorizing the issuance, sale, and delivery of Manor ISD maintenance tax notes series 2025 and approving other matters incident and related thereto. Moises, Santiago?
And trustees, we were negotiating the rates up until right before the board meeting, and we also have here with Mr. Santiago, our financial advisors from Estrada Hinojosa, as well as our bond counsel, Mr. Humberto Aguilera. They are here to let you know what those rates are and also answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President Cortez, trustees, Dr. Sormani, members of the audience. My name's Angel Magallanes. I'm with Estrada Hinojosa. We're financial advisors for any debt service-related items. With me is our Senior Managing Director of San Antonio, Mr. Don Gonzalez. Also, your bond counsel, Mr. Humberto Aguilera, as well, that assisted through this process. Just beforehand, I just want to give a great recognition to your staff and admin and your superintendent, your CFO, being real cooperative during this process. It's not easy. There's a lot of documentation that's needed for these investors to look at. We also had a rating call recently that affirmed the district's rating. It's just like our own personal credit rating. The district as a whole gets a credit rating as well. So we did have conversation with them last month that they affirmed the rating for the district. You know, there's a lot of items out there that you're doing as a district, and they take that into consideration, and they look at, you know, the processes that you've taken from a deficit budget, trying to proceed forward and move forward. So as long as you keep on moving forward in that direction, we feel that these rating agencies will look at it in a positive light and hopefully maintain your rating as a school district. So that's something, you know, every school district throughout Texas is facing deficits, as Dr. Somani just mentioned right now. You do have House Bill 2 there in discussion with the Senate side, and that's It's interesting. It doesn't look like much extra discretionary funding for school districts. And it looks like there's going to be funding for, which is great for teacher pay raises, but at the same time, they're not funding items such as the TRS and all the benefits on the back end as well. So that's something that districts will still have to find some other revenue source to look at that. So I just wanted to present to you all as just a bridge that we were looking at. We looked at it last year. We're looking at it again this year. The bridge to pretty much give the district some revenue sources until they receive some type of state aid later in the fall, and also collect tax revenues. So we did have that. You do have a presentation in front of you that was printed out. Ultimately, our financing team, like I mentioned, Estadio Hinojosa, your financial advisors, Escamilla Ponic with bond counsel, and we did get a bid from Texas Capital Bank that we're going to be recommending today. Okay. We put out a bid sheet to multiple banks throughout Texas and throughout the nation in order to look at financing this note. We put that out and got reasonable bids for today for your consideration. With your approval, we'll proceed forward, and we'll have this closed out and funds received to the district on June 11th. The three bids that we received were from Texas Capital Bank at 3.75%, Regions at 4.01%, and Huntington at 4.39%. Texas Capital Bank, one of the main things there, the call date, that means you could pay off the debt earlier without penalty. So it says any time without a fee. That's something that the district is really going to consider in order to save interest and not have to wait till June 11th of 2026 to pay off this note. So if the revenues are there, we will go look at that and try to pay this note early to save interest on this note. Total amortization schedule is there with the 3.75%, looking at a total of about roughly $31 million. And your uses and sources, looking at $30 million for the project fund to utilize, and cost of issuance of $145,000 for a total of $30,145,000 for the district. So at this time, again, the recommendation is Texas Capital Bank at a rate of 3.75%, callable anytime, and they'll also be their paying agent as well. But I'll entertain any questions from the board.
So it sounds like a really good interest rate, and it,
Yes.
was this better than what we had last time?
Yes, you were slightly above 4% last year, yes.
Wonderful.
Correct.
And the other question, I have three questions, and I just want to make sure I understood them correctly, okay? So the first, one of my first questions, and I've been always, since the very first loan that we took out, I've been the rating, and it sounds like you explained it earlier, that they're looking at us in a positive way because we're paying off stuff. We're kind of trying to balance our budget and stuff. So with this second loan, you don't anticipate us being rated lower?
That's something that the rating agencies will continue to monitor as
Yes.
far as, Dr. Sormani and Mr. Santiago, they did a great job explaining to these rating agencies on what the board is considering, what they're doing, the actions that have been taken. So they will continue to monitor and make sure that, that action does come through. And like I mentioned, there's everywhere throughout the state, everyone's trying to look at reductions in expenses. And so that's something that they'll monitor, and they'll come back to us and look, especially also at paying this note off if we pay it off earlier as well.
And that's my second question. So to be clear, the payout would be for the $31 million, it will be paid out March 30th of 2026, and that's a projected payoff time.
What you have currently, the amortization schedule, is through June 11th. So
Okay.
that's the last, that's the final maturity date for
Okay.
this note, June 11th, for it to all be paid out, principal and interest. But the district is going to look at trying to pay it off earlier, so you could save on that interest. So you could pay it off at any time. So you could receive this note today and pay it off in a couple of days if need be. So without any penalty fee to that. So you wouldn't pay any accrued interest, only until the date you called it.
Wonderful.
The district's finance team, our plan is to pay it off early, though, isn't it?
I think so, yeah, that is
That's
the
what
goal.
I was
That is the
asking.
goal. Yes.
Well, thank you. You've answered all my questions. I don't know if any other board
Well-
members or Dr. Superintendent.
Santiago could answer.
Moises?
Well, I just wanted to say that that is our goal. It is our goal to pay it off early and based off our cash flow projections that we had over the previous years, and based on the amount of revenues that we earned during January and February, I think we should be able to pay off that note sooner. But it all depends on how that goes. Anything can
Thank
change,
you.
but those are our best projections. Okay?
And I think probably bears just a quick reminder to the public. The reality is because we're so close to recapture, we get very little state aid, which means we have almost no revenue for 5 months. Almost all our revenue as a district comes when people pay property taxes in December and then mostly in January. So when people see a big number like $31 million, yes, it is a big number, yet our tax revenues, we know roughly what we're going to get in January, and they dwarf that number, which is why we can say pretty confidently that we will have the money to be able to pay off the note once our tax receipts come in January and February.
Thank you.
If I could add just one thing too, look into the future, Mr. Santiago and I, when we bring the budget for the June board meeting, we would also like the opportunity, if it's okay with trustees, to lay out the multi-year process that we're planning on to make it so that we don't have to take loans out in the future, and both a very conservative view and then what we can do to accelerate that process so that you know what decision points will be in the future.
I'm sure we would love that. Yes.
And Mr. Santiago would love to show it because he's so excited he was already working on it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he's a tremendous job. It's a very detailed analysis on projections, trying to project 2 years from now on what's going to come in ADA. So kudos to him on what he's done there, because it makes this easier when we go out to investors and banks asking for some funds. So thank you.
And I want to thank the whole team as well, because literally, we just kind of figured we might put this on the agenda. We didn't have the whole presentation. You guys were gathering everything out, getting the interest rate and ready for the end of the meeting. Kudos, you guys are really on top of it. And for us to get even a lower interest rate and to work that fast and do all that homework, it's greatly appreciated and it feels much, much better. Do you guys have anything else to add?
I'll just quickly add, Humberto Aguilera with Escamilla and Ponick serving as bond counsel to the district. We've prepared the resolution before the board this evening, which incorporates the financial terms that were just presented to the board by your financial advisors. The resolution also authorizes the district to enter into a series of agreements and other documents that are needed to formalize and consummate the transactions. So we stand ready to assist the district through this process, and if the board wishes to move forward, it's appropriate to make a motion to approve the resolution as presented at this time. But we're happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Is there any questions by our trustees? No? I guess we're good to go. So if there's no questions, I will entertain a motion.
Madam President, I move that the board approve and hereby authorize the superintendent to enter into agreements to borrow funds for fiscal year 2025-2026 in amounts not to exceed $30 million as submitted.
I have a motion by trustee Howard.
If I could tweak that just a little bit, just to also include the adoption of the resolution as presented. My apologies for that.
Do you want to amend your motion?
Yes, it's $31 million, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
It would just actually be the approval of the resolution as presented.
Okay, yes.
That makes it a little easier, probably.
Okay.
My apologies.
So I move that the board approve
The resolution
as amended.
presented.
As presented.
Thank you.
I have a motion by trustee Howard.
Question.
I have a question by trustee Patterson.
Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay for them to amend based on legal counsel.
And he's our legal counsel and our other counsel is there. Okay. I have a motion by trustee Howard.
I'll second.
I have a second by trustee Lowry and trustee Thomas. No further questions? All those in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much, and you guys need signatures, right? Okay, we just have one more action item. Okay, thank you. All right. And then, all right, we have action item 12.2, consideration and approval of a one-year extension of the superintendent's contract.
Madam President?
Yes. Trustee Patterson?
I move that the board extend the superintendent's contract 1 year to end on the 30th of June, 2028, and authorize the board president to execute the contract on behalf of the Manor ISD Board of Trustees.
I have a motion by trustee Patterson. Do I have a second? I have a second by trustee Thomas. Wonderful. If there's no discussion, I will entertain a motion. The vote, all those in favor? 7-0. And wonderful. So this amazing team of 8 has seen a lot of work, hard decisions of our leader. And we've already done our superintendent eval in March. And we wanted to make sure we have a solid foundation, consistent leadership, and we're on track and balancing the budget. We have gotten rid of our TA monitor. We've gotten better health care for our employees out of savings, and there's much more to come. So Dr. Sarmani, welcome another extra year. Make us proud, keep us balanced, and let's keep this team of 8 rolling.
I want to thank you all for that extension, and I think tonight is a good example of not only the team and the hard work that they do and what they're able to accomplish together, because my success is really their success. It also speaks to, of course, that we got work to do, and we don't shy away from the hard work. We accept when there are things we got to do better, and we get up in the morning and we go to work tomorrow morning. And so that's the kind of team that we have, and we will do so, and I appreciate all your support. I did tell the mayor of Manor that since there's a Chewy's coming, he may be stuck with me for a lot of years. Because I am a Chewy's fan, but thank you all. I appreciate the support.
And I want to add, you said their success is my success. I've always told you, Dr. Sarmani, that your success is our success. So, we're all a team. Thank you. All right. So now next confirmation of the next regular board meeting is June 16th. And no other items, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Madam President, I move to adjourn.
I have a motion by trustee Patterson to adjourn at 7:32 p.m. I have a second by trustee Howard and trustee Thomas. All those in favor? Does it sound like boom, 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 boom? Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.